everyone, my name is Jed.
Hey.
Now this is a loaded topic that I've asked myself in the past and I myself have also done, and that is blaming God for tragedy. Whether you're an atheist or a Christian, we love to blame others, whether it's blaming others for traffic,
Hey, beep beep,
blaming others for being dumb. It's a boy!
No, I'm not.
And yes, blaming God for tragedy. So I want to go over why God allows tragedy and suffering to happen in this world and why we love to blame God for it. But first, here's a picture of me waterbending. 2010 was such a simple time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you love to waterbend. Yeah. Alright, let's get into it. So if you've ever had tragic events happen to you, whether it's loss of a loved one, divorced parents, your first girlfriend breaking up with you because it's not you, it's me. Yeah, it's definitely you. I'm joking. It's a joke. Well, in those scenarios, let's just go ahead and blame God and ask him, why did you allow these things to happen? Keep in mind, this question is not new. As a matter of fact, it's been asked since the Old Testament in the story of Job. But if you are an atheist and you're asking this question, I believe Ravi Zacharias said it best when referring to why God allows tragedy, suffering, and evil. You don't ask the question unless you believe in an absolute moral law. And you don't believe in an absolute moral law unless there's an absolute moral law giver. You see, within each one of us is a set of morals discerning the difference between right and wrong. There is this desire for justice in this world, and many of us forget that the God of Christianity is a God of justice. And if you don't believe me, let's just take a look at Ecclesiastes 3:17. God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. And there are many other verses talking about God's judgment. But you see, the reason why we love it when a judge from a court hearing sends a murderer to prison for a very long time is because there is a set of absolute morals that God placed for us. We wouldn't feel justice if there was no tragedy, no suffering, or no evil. Another point I'd like to say is that in this world, there's something that exists called love. You know, I love a lot of things. I love fries, I love pizza, I love adobo, and I'm probably just listing food right now because I'm really hungry.
Wow.
But on a serious note, God wanted us to experience love. But in order to give us the ability to love, we needed the power of free will. Now, free will is the gift of choice because you cannot love without the freedom to not love. Without the freedom of the will, it would all turn into conformity or compliance, and we would all just be robots. An example of this is in a movie called The Giver. Maybe not movie, maybe book if you're those type of people.
hey.
Bro, you scared me.
What do you mean by those type of people?
Well, you know, the type of the person that always thinks the book is better than the movie.
Well, that's because they are.
Yeah. He's right. Now, get out of the room.
Fine,
What are you doing?
fine.
Just leave.
I'm going.
He's just busting through doors.
Fine.
Anyways, in this book, it portrays a society that takes away all emotions to have sameness. Now, I don't want to ruin the story for you, but in this utopia, it's similar to what it would look like if no one had free will. I'll tell you now that with will comes repercussions, because with the freedom to choose love, there's also the freedom to choose hate. With hate, people are capable of experiencing and even causing tragedy. But over the years, I've come to realize that without tragedy, love cannot exist or be shown. In Galatians 5:13, it says, "You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge in the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love." When a third world country such as the Philippines or Africa are in need of basic necessities, love can be shown by giving to these places. It doesn't even have to be a place, it could be a person. You know, giving gifts or acts of service are forms of love. And I find that a lot of people love to blame Christians for not doing enough for others, even though it's a fact that Christians will do more by giving to charities than atheists or agnostics. But with this brings another question of why does pain even exist in our world? I actually talk about social pain in a previous video, and I'll link that up here, but let's stop and think about this question for a second. If I had a burning stove and I put my hand over it, the logical thing to do would be to take it away, right? Or else I burn. But what if I don't feel that burning pain? What if that pain didn't exist? Then I lose my hand. You see, pain warns us if something is wrong. So is it impossible for God, with all his infinite wisdom, to allow pain in our lives to let us know that something is wrong? Within each tragedy and suffering, there is a message of love and compassion. In Matthew 25:35-36, it says, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." If there were no problems in this world, then we wouldn't have the ability to show love and compassion like that. Even though suffering sucks, God can use it to accomplish good. Now, I'm no parent, but my dad is. I hope. But my father has taught me a lot of things, one of them being riding my bike.
Go, son! Go!
Now, I fell a lot.
Go, son! Go!
I was a kid. It hurt, but I kept going. The pain actually motivated me to get better and not fall again. It helped me grow. But just as my father had to allow the experience of falling off my bike and feeling that pain, God allows certain pains and tragedies to happen in our life. But the question is, will you allow the pain to hold you back, or will you pick up your bike and keep moving forward? I'll say this. Along with all the tragedy that happens in this world, there is also a lot of good. When there is joy, peace, and goodness at any moment, do we also blame God for that? The fact is, when there's any type of happiness that is going on in our lives, we think that it's our own doing. But when tragedy or pain strikes, we look for external factors to blame. And who better to blame for our problems than God himself? It is so easy to blame someone else when something doesn't go our way. But just as tragedy exists, out of this world comes beauty and love. And I want to say that all of that goodness cannot be the result of an accident, but because a grand weaver is creating a beautiful tapestry in all of our lives. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be answering them down below in the comment section. Thank you guys again for watching. And I want to say that God loves you no matter what happens. Peace!